I'll start with something a little different this time. Figure give you guys a couple clips of our previous adventures. So we actually took a trip to western Montana for like a wedding on my mom's side of the family. So we went out there. I think that was 2 weeks ago now as I'm taping this. So give you guys a couple clips from that, some nice scenery and stuff. Then we'll start off with the race car stuff. All I gotta say is, in the words of Marv from Home Alone 2, wow, what a hole. Gotta say, Teeter National Park's pretty dang cool, actually. It's pretty similar to the Badlands of South Dakota. But I will say, one heck of a nice view out here. It's kind of something about land just untouched. It's kind of neat. And we got some bison rolling around over here. Just having some fresh grass, chilling like a villain. Now we're back from Montana. It's time to get back in the shop again and do some more race car stuff. So as you guys can see, we got the brown 78 AMX on the hoist behind me. Doing a little recon mission here for a few minutes. Since we go racing in Memorial Day weekend in Brainerd, looking at some different updates. So probably gonna do some updates to my black 79 AMX, Wild Thing, and the silver car. We're looking to do 3 cars in 2 weeks. Just do some small updates to them, gain some just some small gains before we get to the track a little bit. So more or less, first things first, we're going to change the converter in my black AMX. I have a 3500 installed on it currently. I'm going to put a 3000 back in it. 3500 leaves the line nice, but it's a little big for the street, and I fall back into it driving it. And I have race cars, so I kind of want to drive it. So I'm going to put the 3000 stall I have back in my black AMX. So I'll lose a little stall speed out of the hole. And I'm also going to put a 750 dill pumper on it instead of the 800 I have now, because it's a little bit fat out of the hole. So I think between the 750 going on there to lean out the mixture out of the leaf and the smaller converter should be fine, running about that 1230 mark, like about where it is right now. Then Wild Thing's going to come in here, and we're going to put the converter that used to be in my black AMX into Wild Thing, which Wild Thing has about a 2500 stall on it right now, almost like no stall speed. It's a pretty small converter in that car. Well, 28. You can use more converter anyway. So Wild Thing's going to get my 3500, which will make it lead the line pretty good, but it's still a stock axles. So we'll see how much time we have. We might try to take the axles, the rear end out of this car, which actually has aftermarket axles in it. It should be 31 spline. I'm going to find that out here in a few minutes. And just kind of put the whole rear end in there as a nice unit ready to go. And the one out of the car, which is fully working, will probably go in this car. So, and then from that, just some other work. But we'll just pull the axle pull out of this thing quick, see what we have for an axle spline count, because we need to buy a full spool for the Wild Thing rear end. And that is because this is 391s in this rear end, and we have 410s in Wild Thing. We want to keep our same gear. Now, for our handy dandy tool we made a bunch of years back, but it looks like it's a 35 spline. That looks the thing, so I'll count it up for sure, but that's what we're looking for axles. So should be able to get the spool set up for this. I'll slide this back in the car for now in a few seconds. This car will go out the door, we get some parts on order, and then we'll get the black AMX in here tomorrow and start pulling the trans out of it. Well, after a lot of jockeying cars around since I got home, it's about 10:30 right now. We finally got all the cars we were on the show car garage. We actually got Poppy over here in the corner now, and got my 79 put in the main stall. So tomorrow we'll get working on popping the tranny out of this, getting the converter changed, and then a couple other small tuning things. I had to rebuild the 750 for it. I'll probably rebuild the 750 on the weekend, though. We'll see. It's supposed to rain a couple days, so we're going to get the main thing is getting the converter in this car, and then getting it back out of here and getting a Wild Thing in here before we get rain out in the yard. So, anyway. Gotta say, it's not what I wanted to come home to. About half-inch hail and everything, so got the dually in here, kind of in a good spot. Some of this stuff hooked, but we'll hopefully it doesn't get bigger. We're kind of screwed here, but it's kind of rolled out of nowhere. That's all I gotta say. Well, anyway, after I got everything dried off and stuff like that, it's really dry up here in Minnesota right now. So as you can see, the yard is almost fully soaked in already. And also we got a couple wildfires going in our state right now too, in the northeastern side, which is about an hour from us. But anyway, everything seemed to be okay. I got the Super Duty back in the yard here. It looks fine. Had a little bit of shingle rock on it, but no hail damage. Same as the Yukon and everything else in here. So, but we threw blankets on both Super Duties. Javelin got some blankets on it too. J truck was okay. I threw some stuff over my Tan Eagle over there too, just because it's an 88, so it mel's a little thinner on the 80 stuff, on the 80 AMCs, but everything seemed to do fine. So we're probably gonna get some trucks washed up here. Just they're ready to go. This truck desperately needs a wash job. So there's a couple other vehicles in the yard. Get the blankets off everything. But everything seemed to do fine, which was the main thing. So I'm gonna go in the shop, get some stuff done on the golf cart quick. Right now we're kind of in just getting ready to go racing mode because we been doing a lot of other things, and we go racing Memorial Day weekend, so about a week and a half from now. So I'm gonna get the trailers ready to go, cars ready to go, and everything else. So I'll probably go in there and get working on that. I think my dad's gonna wash a big Haas over here and a couple in the black Super Duty. We'll probably toss the camper on that tomorrow because it'll be dry out again, which was supposed to be today, but obviously, as you guys just saw a few minutes ago, that did not happen. It came home when I was pouring, so, which was probably about 2 hours ago. But anyway, so short amount of time, we got a lot to do, but I think we should get it all done. We got 3 cars to get ready to go, and all the trucks and trailers and everything. So we'll want to get the golf cart knocked out and probably get the AMX up in the hoist and start the fun on that. I was kind of thinking about it, and I think a lot of people that are new to the channel probably haven't gone back and watched some of our early footage when I first started the channel. So if you do want some extra particulars on some of our cars, you can go back to probably the first 4 or 5 videos, has a lot of that. But I'll give you guys a little overview on what this actually is. This is my 1979 AMC AMX. I built this when I was 15 years old. As you kind of see it here, has center lines on it, but other than that, it was the same car, still black with flames. It's got ran about 13.0 back then. The original motor I had in it when I was racing it back then is now in my Jeep truck actually, and right now it has another AMC 401 I put in there in 2020 actually. So pretty mildly built motor, still 8-to-1 compression, got stock dog dish pistons in it yet. Pretty much a pretty mild motor overall. Decent sized cam torque intake, set of headers, and a 800 pumper on it currently, and reels off at 1230, well, I think 1238, 1236 fastest pass, something like that. And it's a full car, so it's got full interior in it, all the body chute and all the crash beams, everything, fully streetable kind of car. That thing is 3065 without me in race trim, so. But pretty mild 401 on there. It's got a 727 torque flight in it. We got a 3500 stall, which is going to come out and put a 3000 back in. It's a little bit big for the street. Got a good 60 foot out of the car with it though. And then a 9-inch Ford in the back with 411 gears and strange aftermarket 31 spline axles. The 28 splines made it about 6 years of burnouts, and then in Kenosha a couple of years back, 28 splines said goodbye middle of the parade. So it's got 31 spline stranges in it now. So we're ready to go for a hot minute. But anyway, originally it was a North Dakota car, so it's a completely rust-free 79 AMX. It was originally a black car with tan interior, as you can still see here. Here's under the hood, very nice and detailed up 401. But like I said, pretty simple combination under here. Nice, just simple street motor that you can run on 91 octane pump gas and do your thing and enjoy yourself. So SI295, 50s in the back, so I got some sort of traction around third gear somewhere. And then real nice interior in here. Pretty much all original except for the monster tack and the extra gauges and stuff. But you know, I got AMC jacket in there. I got some speakers in the back too. I mean, you know, high school back in the day, you gotta have noise, you know, as well as the pipe noise. But overall, been a really fun car for me, and we're gonna continue that, make it a little more treatable again. Because I had the 3500 stall, and it's just a little too much. It starts to fall into the stall speed while driving a little much. Because I usually drive around about 3 grand at 55 miles an hour with my my 410s. I don't get places fast, but I'm cool while doing it, so that's the main thing. But anyway, so I'm gonna put a smaller stall back in it to kind of get that under control, so I can drive a little more than I have been. I mean, I have race cars. I don't like my tube chassis gremlin. I can race that in reality. So make this car kind of drive to work a little more and use a little more than I have in the past. So we're gonna do that, and also put a 750 Holley Doe pumper on it instead of the 800. This motor is pretty similar to the one actually in my gremlin. So I learned on that car, I actually gained a lot from leaning out the mixture a little bit. So I'm gonna try the same thing on this car and see what it gains out of it the same way. So it is a little fat out of the hole, I know that right now. So I think with the smaller carburetor and less stall, it should kind of even out and pretty much leave us about where we're at with the 1240 range, 1240 to 38s to 40s right there, which is a nice fun street car you can have fun with and do lots of burnouts and enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. So I'll get her up on the hoist here. You guys a little glance underneath, and then we'll get to work. Here's a view under the AMX. It was pretty detailed when I first built it. It's got a little wear and tear from street driving now. It's been together about 13 years now, so it's gonna have some of them drips and droplets just from everything, how it goes. But underneath here, just got a stock oil pan on it, nothing ridiculous. And there's a torque flit and some regular 45s out the back. There's the old Ford 9-inch toe in the back. It has slapper bars and some coilover shocks. Got a Holley red pump up in the hole, hitting the fuel up to the 401. And it's a nice stock silver gas tank in the back. So nothing too fancy, nice simple setup that does the job. So here's a little reference. I got a picture on the wall here when I first got the whole car together. Back in 2011, put them together. This is kind of what we started with up there. Original black car, and then did some work when I was 15 and all the paint work and stuff, and putting the motor together, putting it in the hole. This looked like underneath when I first got it done, so she was real shiny like underneath. I don't know if work a little weird today. We had another rain system come through, so I moved a lot of vehicles around as well. And then we also spent some time getting the shop organized finally, because it was a disaster in here. So we got the my plasma table kind of pushed up to the back side of the bench here. Also, we got some boxes open in a few minutes from, well, most of you guys can see what that is, but good old quick performance. So, got the batteries put in the golf cart, and then we got the exhaust pipe bender put under the bench over there, out of the way with all dies. And the main bench cleared off, and the bench over there cleared off, and that kind of stuff. So right now we got some 4 9-inch parts in this box, and we have some 8 3/4 Mopar parts in this box. This has axles, obviously, as you guys can tell, the length of the box. So we got this center section out of I think it's out of a 79 F-150, if I remember right. A while back, just some regular, 279s on it, nothing ridiculous. I stole some parts out of this when I broke my axle, actually in this car originally. I stole this ring off this side since I needed that for my carrier and a couple other things. But we got a full set of bearings for this thing, whole new full 31 spline spool for the center, and then some 410 gears for it. So we're gonna get this all ready to go, rebuild it, get it all cleaned up so it's ready to go in a wild thing. We have 391 gears for the car and 410s, depending what the next motor combination brings. So anyway, I'll pull these boxes open, show you guys a little bit of the goodies we got going on over here. I got the box open anyway. It's coming with the goodies. We got a full installation kit with a fresh set of bearings. Since obviously you guys saw the stuff on that one, she's a little rusty. Seen some water before. And this is our full spool we got, 31 spline spool. This is actually a quick performance brand. This is the drag version. They also do make a lightweight one, which is a little more money, but we're going drag racing. It's better to have the stronger one as opposed to lightweight, which is probably more road racing application than anything. We also got the one, basically, the nut for the side of the braking preload nut for the side. Obviously, we have one original one that's all ready to go and fine, so we just bought the one for this thing. It worked just fine for what we're doing. And also a solid crush sleeve for the, basically a spacer that goes in place to the crush sleeve, so you don't have to play around with the crush sleeve. So this works nicer. You can just play with your shims, and you can use your solid spacer that way instead of playing with the crush sleeve. The crush sleeve works just fine. This just helps. In some cases, you don't have to play around with it, and you can also pull yoke on and off, and it's not a problem if you need to. And obviously, we have our gasket over there, so nothing too fancy. And then we have also our set of Motive 410 gears. So let's make a pretty good run for a wild thing anyway. Well, we got the other box open with the Mopar end stuff. That's for the silver car. It has 8 3/4 in the back. And currently with a bent axle. I'll show you guys why here in a second. So with the stock axles, we kind of got the end bent on them. So this is a fresh set of quick performance 8 3/4 Mopar axles with the got the green bearings on them, all that kind of stuff. So fresh plates, all ready to go, cut to length, and ready to slide in the hole. So silver car won't make it in the garage for probably a day or two here while we get my AMX done and Wild Thing done. The silver car will be the last one to get in here, and then we'll pop the axles. I'll put these in and a couple other small updates to that car. So, but in the meantime, we're gonna get the AMX all ready to go over here and put into race mode. I was gonna change the converter, but I think we're gonna leave 3500 in for this weekend so I can get to see what I can get out of the combination with the right carburetor and all the right stuff. And after that, I'll put the small converter in, because I think I know I'm gonna lose some 60 foot out of the car on the strip with a smaller converter, and I just kind of want to get that time slip before I drop that down a little bit. So anyway, I'm gonna get my slick split on my front runners, which are basically my full set of centerline wheels I have for the car. So I got a 28 915 slicks I put on it, and it's a 26 4 or 5 15 Hoosiers for the front. And also I changed the exhaust too. So I have a set of 3-inch pipes that go out the side, which usually for the street I run glass packs and chrome tips like this kind of setup here, just so you know, I can keep it somewhat quiet while I'm cruising around anyway. I'm not feeling fully deaf all the time. So anyway, I'll get the time lapse set up and we'll get to it. I've got questions about my exhaust and how I put it on the car different times before, so I'll kind of show you guys what that looks like. So my original system I have, obviously you see it's been on here for a little bit because it got kind of burn spots, but anyway, just a regular straight section back there, goes back, and then I have my drive shaft safety loop through the floor right here. Those bolts, and I use the bottom bolt to actually mount my exhaust, and that goes out at a 45 right there, kind of just missing the hoist post right here. Now the traction bar is sitting about this far from the floor like that. And also when I run the race pipes, they mount very similar. So same thing, obviously I have a big, actually a 3-inch collector instead of the neck down to 2 1/4 right here. For racing, just better flow, and it kind of goes nice 45 again. And I also use the same mount right here and goes out the side just like that. So as you can see, it rubs the floor a little bit, but when you're racing and you have the exhaust against the floor a little bit once in a while, it doesn't matter too much. This is more of a street strip car anyway, so I don't mind too much, and it's just got a little bit of this. But you don't want too much wiggle room though too, otherwise your headers get beat up pretty heavy if this is wiggling so much. Just a lot to be hanging off a header. So it's kind of how I have them set up anyway to go outside of the car, and that's the nice kind of spot you have right there, just about at the edge of the door where it comes out the car and exits, and you have some issues, everything comes out the side of the car past everything, and that's kind of the main goal. Not underneath the car where your slicks are, and where you kind of want to have traction still if something does go wrong. So. I got the exhaust all installed as you guys saw in the time lapse, but now it's time to pop tires off, put my slicks on. So we also got Dad over here working on the golf cart, getting that all spiffed up. We got the springs in last night and fixed the rear brakes, so it stops a little better now, which is kind of handy instead of having to rail on them, you know, coming a little too hot up to the starting line to watch somebody. But I'll get time lapse going. We'll get going on the tires. I will say I love my torque thrust D's, but I will say one of the most annoying things about them is that when you have the 5 on 4.5 pattern, and they actually have it cut back a little bit, you can't get a socket by the caps to get the nuts off. So you have to pull the caps off every time you pull the tires on and off. Which, if you're leaving them on all the time, it doesn't matter. But if you aren't, it gets to be old sometimes. But sometimes you do extra work for the cool factor, and that's what these tires and wheels provide. The torque thrust D's just look fantastic on this car. all, I got my tires and wheels put on the AMX. We have race mode engaged now. Anyway, slicks are on, front runners are on, pipes are on. So I'm about ready to put it on the floor. I did check underneath quick, make sure everything looked fine under there. Got rid of a couple drips from over the winter. You know, race cars just sweat horsepower. It's usually how it goes. So anyway, dropping the floor here quick. Now I got to torque all my wheels down to 100 foot-pounds. And then check fluids under the hood quick, and then we're ready to drive this car out, and we'll get Wild Thing put in here. Ready to change the converter in that car, and then also pull the rear end out of the brown AMX from outside, get that inside here, so we're ready to put that up in the hole and start working on that operation. Thank you guys for watching this channel. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that like button, smash the subscribe button there too. Catch you all later.